Hey everybody, it's time for Syntax Live. I hope you and everybody you know is having a great day. And I see there's a whole bunch of people in here. And yep, I can see that you're first. And first things first, everybody sit back, relax, pop the top, and let's get this going. Hmm. Sorry, I'm about a minute late. I had to take care of one small item, and it kind of pulled my attention a little faster than I hoped it would. All right, I got my notes, so let's start breaking this down. First things first. Unfortunately, no story to drop tonight. I didn't get a chance to finish it. Reason being, schedule. Everything was supposed to be pushed over till tomorrow, and or to Friday, and got pushed into tomorrow. So I had to get a whole bunch of stuff done today. It is what it is. We've all been there, folks. We've all been there. So, also about the story that just dropped, I want everybody's opinion. I really do. I want your opinion on how it was. You know, if you like the really goofy humor, and I'm going to let you in on a little something on that one as well later on. Okay, one of the main things I want to talk about today is somebody brought into about different shielding in science fiction, and he actually brought up the fact that I don't use shields. I had to bring up the point to him over the comment section that when you're using different shielding in sci-fi, am I not coming in? Oh, you know what? Let me get this a little closer. Sorry about that. I didn't even realize it was away from me. Usually it's really close anyway, so don't even think about it. Anywho's, shields in science fiction, also in hard science fiction usually. If we're not talking about Trekkie Trek or anything like that, you got to remember that shielding, as we know, energy shielding can break apart different type of energy weapons. It will work that way. It can deflect all sorts of energy and stuff like that. It does absolutely fuck all when it comes to any type of ballistic, which is why I put into that story specifically that they couldn't hit the enemy with any energy weapons until they hit it with ballistic weapons, and they actually disabled the energy shielding. Once they did that, the energy weapons could just open up and fricassee everybody. So that's how it is. Now, for those of you who don't know much about armor, I need to let you know a few things. One, yes, you can have reflective armor. Reflective armor is usually very, very frail. So if you're fighting somebody who actually has energy weapons, having reflective armor is going to work wonderfully. I was actually working on a story on that, and unfortunately, it didn't come out right, and I had to just toss it away, and I'll go back to it later. But usually, reflective armor is very, very weak against anything else. That being said, if you want something that's strong against any type of ballistic, you need reactive armor. If you don't know what reactive armor is, you'll put a plate on the front. Well, it's basically like a brick on the front of the armor. As a projectile comes in, as it strikes, the armor itself explodes, but the explosion is facing out. So it actually takes the explosion and overloads it and pushes it away. It's going to make whatever you're in shake like this. And anybody who's watching the news, that's what's actually covering most of the tanks over there. All those little squares, that's supposed to be reactive armor. Will that work in space? Sure, because there's no gravity in space. You can just cover the whole ship with it, and it works just fine. Now, also, shields in science fiction or science fact, if you are talking about the race shields, okay, something that's actually strong enough, if they work to compartmentalize your ship, they work just fine. To actually cover an entire ship with something strong enough, an energy shield strong enough to stop ballistics, you could focus that into a beam and cut the sun in half. I mean, it's crazy how much energy is actually freakish. That being said, again, small, just like working with solar panels or solar anything. You know, on a small basis, it works. On a large scale, it's bullshit. Okay, small scale. That's why they say the Star Destroyers they all have ray shields. Yes, to compartmentalize each one in case of an actual breach in the hull. That's what they're there for. Duh. Changing the subject here. I did have a couple people say they found it funny that the human in the last story. Hopefully, you guys have actually gone through the last story. I'm not gonna freaking the one that dropped this morning. If you know what, I'm gonna put a note or a star next to this one after I go through all the chats and what like that. If you guys haven't actually finished that one yet or haven't gone over it, let me know. So I don't, because I hate spoilers. Okay. You guys know I hate spoilers. I was going to talk about one of the things that happened in there, but it happened way towards the end, which was really funny. But, you know, it is what it is. All right. Sandman, you goofy SOB. If you end up listening to this, you made me laugh so hard, I almost shot coffee out my nose this morning when you actually sent this. Okay. Said, and I quote, light is faster than sound, which is why people look bright until they start talking. Okay, either you were just making a general joke or you were saying something about me. You know, if you don't like the videos, that's fine. Tell me where I need to improve. That's kind of the point. So I still thought that was funny because I have to deal with a bunch of people who think they're smart and they're really not. Okay. Speaking of which, let me adjust this here. As you can see, I'm here by myself. I kind of had to tell my nephew goodbye because he had to go and get lunch. So anyways, let's see. I want to also go over the series that just ended, Survival 101. You guys, you got ahead of me. Most of you got ahead of me. Yeah, I got to admit, you guys you're figuring me out a whole lot faster than I wanted to, especially on a whole series. So I'm going to have to watch the foreshadowing on that so I don't give everything away. Also, I will say that sometimes your comments, because I will go over my notes before I actually put anything out. So if, say, chapter 2, you guys get that and you're like, oh, this could happen, this could happen, this could happen. I read those before I actually create the next one, create the next video. I don't just knock out a whole thing and then I'm good for a week. I just don't have the time to do that. It takes, for one story or one chapter, about 4 or 5 hours worth of scripting time. It's just because I don't write that fast. And I actually got a good old callus on my hand because I'm friggin' just going like crazy. Like I said, I write longhand, folks. I mean, I do know a little bit of shorthand, but that's it. But yeah, you guys were getting ahead of me. And yes, your suggestions. Several times I've actually had people put in the comment section, hey, he did what I thought he was going to do. Yeah, probably because you mentioned it. Okay. You guys are what I'm here for. You guys are who I'm trying to make good story for, and you guys are the only reason I'm online right now. So my next one here that I want to talk about was story ideas. If you guys have any story ideas that you think would be good, again, put them in the comment, or not the comments, in the chat, and we'll go over. Now, I will say, going through the other comments, we had a story idea, a species that's on par with humans. That's very easy to do. The setting itself is difficult. It would depend on how advanced the sides are. A species on par or slightly better, how would we get around this or whatever? And you're talking about like a stalemate. That'd probably be like a 4 or 5 part series on that one. Can it be done? Sure. It's on my notes. I'm reading it right now. Also, because shielding came up, I have a thing here about the damn human shields. Why won't they go down? Well, you might want to serve on the ship before you find out. But that one's, again, taken from you guys. So, again, I got a big gap right here for story ideas. Now, on to something that is absolutely pissing me off when it comes to science fiction. I know you guys come here because you want to get away from the typical crap that goes on with a lot of the science fiction especially that's on TV now. But they finally killed the Clone Wars. I'm sorry, it's dead now. It's no, just it's toast. Why? Because of Kennedy and her ilk. With every single female has to have fallopian force powers because the force is female, right? Right. And magically, the only clone to have any type of sensitivity to it happens to be the only female. Give me a freaking break. I mean, that's just lazy writing. That is just simply lazy writing. So I mean, I saw that and I did the whole Picard thing. Ugh, just the original heads, or not original head slap, but the first one, science fiction, it'd just be like, oh. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I'm like, can you guys not kill a good series for once? Oh, wait. You're woke as all hell. And as you guys know, we don't do woke stuff around here. Okay. You want woke stuff? Go listen to some CGI garbage. You don't find CGI here. On that note, I have had people send me links to how to make my thumbnails out of CGI. I probably won't do that for one reason and one reason only, is every single one of the AI channels does that. Okay. HFY Story or HFY Sci-Fi or whatever, you'll see them. It's completely CGI created. Everything there is CGI. There's no passion in it. There's no whatever. And a lot of times the actual picture doesn't even match what the hell you're trying to talk about. Not even close. Or it's way too on point. Speaking of things, now that actually ends my notes on this, but I want to go into this other part beforehand. Now, this isn't a spoiler alert, but it was on the last story, because that story that just came out this morning, midnight Eastern Standard Time, was actually recommended and brought up by SS Demon. If you went to the end, I actually did what I used to do on one of my old channels, where I actually have different stills go through. Demon, I hope you like your demon, because that's who you are. I wanted originally, because I don't know if you're on here yet, but I wanted to actually use a succubus like your little image here. The problem is I'd get flagged by YouTube like that, just quick. So I couldn't do that. I actually tried. I sent it through their little checker doohickey, and it came back, don't even try. It would demonetize my channel. At least that whole video, and that's bullshit. So, as you know, I try to at least once a week send out the thanks to everybody who is supporting, and hopefully I'll find more folks in there. So, at the end of my notes now, and we're gonna go in here. I gotta scroll up. We got a whole bunch of folks in here. I see the man Fabian is here. We got a sniper in the chat. Isaac. There's some rage in the chat too. Oh shit. Okay. And there's a sir in the chat. Put some honorifics on that one. Let's see. Or Sniper says, had to wait an hour longer because my clock went 1 hour forward. Oh yeah. That whole thing is driving me crazy. Everybody's off, at least for the next week or two. Anyway, Sniper says, how you doing, Sin? I am doing okay. I can only say okay because I've had a headache for the past 2 or 3 days, mainly because of the weather. You can't really see it, but it's actually pouring outside. And who knows, maybe you'll see a skinwalker walk by there or something like that. Oh, maybe I'll actually have a succubus peek in the window while you're there. I swear to God, if I see my nephew there, I'm going to probably aim something at him. I'm not going to say what I might have within reach. In any case, yeah, the weather's just been messing me up. Surprisingly, I got to the gym on time, even though my phone went dead. Woke up about 10 minutes before the alarm went off. I thought I missed everything, plugged it in, and went, oh, I got time. Should I go back to sleep? We've all been there. Do yourself a favor. If it's within about 20 minutes, just wake up, dude. You don't want to accidentally slip into REM sleep. Let's see. Sir Braddock is here. 5 minutes to go and only 2 Europeans waiting. Hey, if I get anybody across the pond, I call it a good day. War Sniper, it's, oh God, it's midnight. It's just after midnight. So, God dang. I appreciate you showing up in the middle of the night, man. I really, really do. Rage. It's a Floridian here now. Okay, yeah. And with the guy, I actually have a family member who went to the primaries and just voted for your governor as president. And even though that's kind of a show, just a show of support, but hey, let's see. Isaac saying hi. War Sniper saying, "Don't fear, the Floridian is here." Well, we know what Florida man can do. So yeah, we're afraid. Be very afraid. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. It's almost midnight in England. Oh, I appreciate you guys staying with me at night. I really do. Let's see. Sir says, seriously, I hate summer or winter times. Mess me up so many times. Oh, you and me both, brother. You and me both. Seriously, that jump ahead, everybody hates that. Oh, dear God. Losing an extra freaking hour on that. I mean, you can work around it sometimes, but a lot of times your body just won't deal with it. Let's see, 11:30. War Sniper saying hi, indeed. Yep. I hate clocks being altered. Yeah. It's a little fun in my car when I reset the digital clock. There's an actual analog clock, and it'll automatically go around. That's the only bonus watching that thing automatically go. Have to go to work at 7. Oh, geez, man, what are you doing awake? Maybe you're like me and get really bad insomnia. I can't get insomnia of drinking this. This is like the only thing they have that's actually caffeine free. A little birch beer going. So Lee wants to know how everybody is doing today, and I hope everybody is doing well. I hope health is just excellent on everyone watching. War Sniper, need to wake up at 8 a.m. Dude, I wish I could sleep in that long. Yeah, same here. Was being sick. Okay. Oh, you sick sniper, you. Yeah, still with the big headache. Yeah, me too. It's that change in season, man. It's that change in season. Still with a big headache, like the Russians do with their tanks with the reactive armor. Yeah. Yep. Most of the reactive armor, though, they used it or when it's captured, they use the armor or the actual explosive inside for something else. Sir says, I like the expansion approach. No shields, but upon a point defense cannons. Yeah. The thing is, most of what okay, I got to get in this, Sir Braddock. When it comes to point defense cannons, for the majority of actual space combat is going to be pretty ineffective when it comes to actually striking another target. The only time it's going to come into play is when you are so close to each other that your thrusters cannot automatically turn on and move you in another direction, because that would eventually be automated for everybody. And for most battleships, your point defense cannons are just not going to be strong enough to pierce their armor, as just a fact. Most of those are designed for going through asteroid belts and stuff like that. They need to be able to handle big rocks bouncing off the side. You know, even in Star Wars, they had it right. Those big rocks got to bounce off the hull, and sometimes they'll hit you really, really hard. And if they hit you too hard, you're going to go kablooey. Yeah, the point defense systems for actual, unless you're able to jump in like really close, and I do that a lot, but that's adds a little bit of drama. But when you hear in any type of science fiction a slug match, you're so far away from each other, your sensors can barely even reach each other. You're literally spraying and praying at that point, because even 1/100th of a mil off from target and you're going to miss by like 3 miles. I mean, it's crazy. Fabian here talking about Forrest Hump. I hate that movie. I really do. I hated that movie when it came out. He is like the ultimate simp. I mean, seriously. Just look up Family Guy did a skit on it, and within a minute, and not even, it's like 40 seconds long, they hit that absolutely perfect. And it just how bad that one is. Okay, War Sniper, yes, he's seen the last video. Good. Rage says, with the last story, I was wondering if they were all going to have to use the suit at some point. It would be a possibility, but the thing is, because we humans are able to handle a multitude of terrains, a multitude of environments, if we dress for it, we don't actually need the suit. The reason for obviously a reptilian cannot handle the Arctic. Obviously, an aquatic species has no business being in the desert, no matter how many times Aquaman decides to go in the desert and say, piss on this thing here. Now, an avian species, because they have their feathers, is much better to handle all these, because depending on how they flail out the feathers or tuck them in, they can actually thermal regulate their bodies that way. It's actually incredibly good. I mean, that's why you have penguins. I mean, that's why their feathers are that way. But yeah, they wouldn't. The only reason anyone else would have to use the suit is to actually go under the water. But I couldn't think of a way to put that in. Originally, I wanted them to go through the Badlands, like over in Montana and Utah and all those, where you can get what's known as ledged up. You're looking for water, but it's at the bottom of like a 300-foot cliff. You can go down, you can drink your heart out, but you're never getting back up that hill or getting out of there. It's an old cowboy term, getting ledged up. And I remember going through my survival class, and I heard that. I started laughing because I had heard it before. I didn't know what it meant. They're like, oh, you think this is funny? I was like, no, I just don't know what it means. But yeah, I wanted originally for them to all use the suit rage. I really, really did. I couldn't get it in the story without the story going, what's the technical term? Oh, yeah. And then you guys would have hated it. Okay. Whoa, this thing jumped. Gorg saying, sup, y'all. Let's see. War Sniper, I have tried to give you an idea for a story sim, but you didn't like my idea. Hey, keep them coming. If I can use it. Okay. Now, don't let me dissuade you. And I don't want anybody else to be dissuaded on this. Reason being is because an idea might not work at this point, or it's been done really well. And if I know it's been done really well, I will send you over to said creator to actually do it, because I want you guys to enjoy good stuff. I mean, sometimes people do it better than me. That's just the way it is. That being said, sometimes you'll have, like, I've had bad ideas. I've tried to write them and they turn out dog shit and I can't freaking use them. And then suddenly something else pops up and you're like, oh, damn, that works well. So if you have ideas, throw them out, because you can't hit the target if you don't throw the dart. So it is what it is. Just like you can't win the lotto if you don't buy a ticket. And over here, everybody's buying tickets. I have my one. I go by a personal rule. And if you guys are gamblers, just remember, one ticket per person per draw. If you do more than that, you need to seek some help, because you're just pissing away. Okay. Let's see. Fabian says, a bounty hunter getting into a major bar fight hunting their prey. I did something close, but okay. I'm going to write that down. Bounty hunter. Bar fight on their prey. Hunting for her prey. Okay, I'm going to preface that, her. Okay. I'm guessing the bounty hunter is probably going to be well, no, actually that could go one of two ways. You already got the stuff moving up here. Dustin D jumping in. Hi, how you doing? Hi, how you doing? Okay. Gorg says, laugh my fucking ass off. I've been married 30 years. Women do have more power, is what it is. Yeah, by law, absolutely. The thing is, I didn't want to get into that all too much. I mean, I'll touch on it. My original channel, Crazy Uncle, I touched on a lot of that stuff. But again, I can't do both. I just don't have enough time to do that. plus everything else I got to do. So I had to pick one, and here I am. So, but yes, absolutely. By law, here in the what's known as the Western world, you are 100% positively right. Everywhere else in the world, they are beyond screwed as far as, demanding with princess syndrome and all that other fun shit. So, Dustin D says, looks like Disney had a wild corporate day. Yeah, I'm hearing little bits right now. Apparently, they're going at each other. I didn't get the whole story, and the whole thing hasn't come out yet. I'm waiting for a few more details before I comment on that. All I know is everybody's trying to blame each other for fucking up by the numbers. I'm sorry, if you're fucking up by the numbers, everybody there is fucking up by the numbers. So, but the thing is, just like any other pyramid, it all goes to one point, and there's one person at the top. We all know who she is, and she's never going to be held to task. So it is what it is. There's the sir again saying, go woke, go broke. It's going to take a little bit longer, but yeah, they're hemorrhaging money like crazy. And I hate to say it, but ever since I started doing any research on Disney, I don't mind if the entire company folds on itself and nobody ever watches any Disney movie ever again. Because once I started breaking them down, and not just saying the subliminal bullshit that's unfortunately screwing around inside my head now, that's getting inside all the kids' heads, it's just messed up. It's beyond messed up. I mean, seriously, I could probably ruin every single one of the movies there. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to like to watch Jungle Book because I was, the little kid about 4 or 5 running around singing bare necessities until I realized how freaking, I don't want to say racist, but it was, he goes through okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to ruin Jungle Book for you guys. I'm sorry. The kid goes through the entire, and yes, sir, you're going to love this one. The guy goes through the entire movie trying to be independent, trying to train himself from a boy to a man, proving himself. He's independent. He's working the bare necessities. He even picks a fight with his own people. He fights his mortal enemy, and he's going to stay in the forest. He's going to be a wild man. And then he sees the first woman ever, and he's dick thinking. I mean, seriously, she looks at him, bats her eyelashes like twice. His balls suddenly drop, and she's leading him around by his penis. I mean, just no, that movie was shit. The ending was horrible. The rest of the movie was fine. The ending was terrible, and you can destroy a good movie just with a bad ending. It's just that simple. I mean, oh fuck. And that's when I was a kid, and that's the sort of thing that drills into your cranium, and it makes a nest in there and stays there, like the bugs in Starship Troopers 3 or 4, I forget which one. But I mean, nowadays I wish my nieces had never watched the movie Frozen with that fucking song, which if you actually just read the lyrics and associate it with real life, you know what you get? A young girl who's saying, hey, look, I'm being ostracized because I'm the good girl. Everyone else is going out and partying and fucking up their life, but they're having so much fun. I want to do that. So what she do? It's literally a song about her losing her virginity because she doesn't give a shit about what anybody else says. And she's going to say, well, fuck it. My family can be cold to me. I'm used to everyone being cold to me because that's the way I was. I'm just switching teams right now. And that's what it is, because the line towards the end is, here I stand in the light of day. The perfect girl is gone. What the fuck, Over? Ugh. And people wonder why young girls are all fucked up nowadays. Sorry, I didn't mean to go on a rant, folks. It irritates me when a good movie can suck so much. And by the way, if you read the source material, you know what they took from it? Nothing. It's crazy. It's actually an old Grimm book called The Snow Queen. Okay. I digress. I'm going back here. Lee saying, keep your style. It works. It works for me. Let's see. Gork says, Even the Viking says, I took an arrow to the knee, saying he was married. Yeah, down on one knee. Actually, I think that's where that comes from. Good morning. Good morning. A good morning to you, Jan. Let's see. Dustin D says, what did you eat for dinner? For me, some pasta with a really quick pasta. That's all I got. Ivan's here. How you doing, Ivan? And Gork saying sleep is overrated. Yeah, sleep is a crutch. Although it's nice to get enough sleep. Let's see. Fabian, how about a story about when an alien is going into a military boot camp and trying to keep up? Now, there have been those that have done that, but being that I'm a former drill sergeant, I'm going to put that one in. Basic training. I don't know if I'm just going to put basic training human style. And it's going to be old school, like when I went through, not what I was forced to do. Folks, you would be amazed some of the crap we got to deal with. Holy shit. And it's amazing how many friggin' special snowflakes. And the thing is, it's not just in our military, it's across everybody's. It's getting ridiculous. Let's see. Jan says, I like to see a new turret story. You know, somebody actually put in the comment section that said this guy has Tourette's or something like that because I said it too much. It was kind of a joke. I was actually, believe it or not, I was halfway through writing that story, and Sacred Cow Shipyard came out with their whole thing about the battleship from Babylon 5. And he did such a good job. I actually went back and rewrote, it put notes in, and I redid a few sections. And yeah, it's just like, if you're in the long distance slug matches that you're so far away that you can barely see each other, there's no reason to have a turreted weapon except for your point defense systems. That's it. Everything else is fixed weapon systems. You're just going to set them row on row on row. Believe it or not, anime got this part right. Is you're literally firing them, reload, turning the ship like a quarter of a tenth of a millimeter of a mil a little bit, and then fire them again, and you're literally spraying and praying. But if you're able to get close and you get to the side, yeah, those fixed emplacements are going to be the death of you. Okay, this thing just jumped. I'm going to write that turret story, though. Okay. Ivan said, need to wake up at 5 a.m. in the mornings for school, but usually wait till 1 a.m. in the morning. Holy shit. And I thought I had a fucked up sleep schedule. You win. Dustin D said, Last Jedi, I hated the theaters. Oh, hated at the theaters. Yeah, most everybody did. I went there and I had one of my nephews, not the one you guys seen last week, but my other nephew. He fell asleep during that movie. Who the hell falls asleep during a Star Wars movie? Especially a kid. Crazy. The Sir says, the Expanse PDCs are used versus slow torpedoes, but don't work versus railgun slugs, and the books make great use of the non-shielded concept. You better be fast and move out of the way or get pelted. Okay, I thought it said peeled. Yeah, you will get pelted. Yeah, that's right. I haven't read the Expanse books. I'd like to. I just, again, don't have the time to sit down and do them all. That being said, yeah, and using those railguns is a slug match. You notice there's a distance ratio for time of the projectile traveling. Even when it comes to energy weapons, there's going to be a time differential between when they fire and when they actually strike, which is why when I actually did the human battleships, that's why you see it looks like a whip going across because the turret itself is turning. So the beam looks like it's bending as it's going across and cutting through everyone. the beam is not solid because the end would have to move faster with everything. It just doesn't work that way. That being said, yeah, it's absolutely right. You were absolutely right on that. Dustin, your message got retracted. I think you pissed off Susan. Fabian here. And we are glad that you chose to stick with this. Oh, you're glad that I chose to stick with this channel. Well, I'm glad you're happy with it. My other one, I guarantee I'd be getting, well, I would have been on it for as long as this. And, well, let's just say I would have been shadow banned really quick with some of the stuff I was talking about. Story idea, human PMC. PMC? Primary magnetic cannon. You're going to have to spell out which PMC you're talking about. Unless you're talking PMCS, primary maintenance, care, and services. See, War Sniper. Well, the story was that the humans had 160 people left after an alien invasion, and they try to repopulate Earth or move away from Earth to repopulate to another planet. You know what, War Sniper Gaming? Believe it or not, I worked on something very similar, which is actually in the pipe. I don't know if you guys heard that. It was in the pipe to be continued on. It was called with humans, it's always a trap. Because that was the premise of the story, is they were what's left of humanity is trying to fight their way back. But what's the best way to fight? Good old-fashioned ambush. But for an ambush to work, you got to get them in position. How do you do that? You set a trap. Or as we all know, it's a trap. It's I try not to use that line too much because during ambush predators, I not only killed that joke, I took a baseball bat and beat it while it was on the ground. I mean, yeah, I'm going to put that down. Yeah. So that one actually, War Sniper, it is in the line to get completed. It didn't get a lot of views originally, but hopefully it works. Anyways, we got Nivan here. For a bounty hunter idea, can make it a human bounty hunter who was kidnapped from their home planet to be a slave, but she or he is able to escape from the master or slave, and mostly slave hunters. Yeah, if you want to put a whole bunch of backstory, just actually doing that one story you're talking about where they're actually going in for their prize, we'll make a 10-minute video. That's 5 to 7 pages worth of scripting at least. How do I know that? Because I did a story back in the day where it's a human with a big iron, aware of the human with the big iron on his hip, which was a bounty hunter story, and he actually goes in to get his quarry. And that one is, I think, about 10 minutes long also. But yeah, bounty hunter. Yep, I already wrote that down. Okay. Oh, and freeze the slaves to make a hunter's guild. Well, somebody was listening last week when I was talking about my Star Wars idea to save the mundane Elorian. Build a hunter's guild. Yep. Sorry, I just write my notes down. Guild. Okay, here you go. We got a rage. Beauty and the Beast equals Stockholm Syndrome. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. He was an abusive son of a bitch. And a scary SOB. But it's, God. If I hear the same thing, don't worry, I can fix him. 5 across the eyes is what you need, you dumbass. You can't fix anybody who doesn't want to be fixed. It's just that simple. People want to change their life, but they want other people to change it for them. It doesn't work that way. I don't get any stronger, any faster by sitting on my ass. I got to go to the gym every day. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy waking up at 4:30 in the morning so I can get to the gym when it opens, so I can get it done, so I can come back and, have breakfast and then do what I got to do so I can make time so I can do this. And I enjoy doing this. I enjoy working with you guys. Let's see. War Sniper says, another idea of story is a dragon species that has a rank order of who is the strongest, and every dragon has a spirit that... Oh, I think that was supposed to be form a weapon into a starship. And that there's one dragon that is learning. I'm going to have to think on that one. Sorry, I'm just writing this down. Dragon making starship. Okay. That one I'm going to have to stew on, because that's okay. My brain just went like way off in the weeds there, trying to put all the pieces together, and it's already started to do it. But that's going to take a while. Honestly, that's going to take some serious sit down and let the gray matter flow. Jan says, story, the first being of the cosmos meets humans. So basically God. First one meets humans. And probably sits there and goes, oh my God, what is wrong with these things? Let's see. Gore says, Xeno version of Westworld that human visit for the first time. Okay, Xeno Westworld. Humans visit. I'll have to talk around a lot of stuff if it's a Westworld thing. You guys saw that one. I mean, seriously, you can't show a lot of those scenes on YouTube without getting friggin' immediately flagged. Seriously, it's literally just, well, it's any other good show like Game of Thrones. For the first 2 seasons, everybody was screwing and killing. That's all they did. Although I could have gone without the excessive incest in that show, which was nauseating. Anyways, Gamer says, trained to be alpha of his species. Okay. Let me get this basic training to be the alpha. Running out of room here. Rain, wow, you were just throwing all the details in it. Meteors kills his kin, and he took the Alderon. Wow. Holy shit. I'm going to have to go through. This is a lot of notes here. I'm about to pull out my phone and just take a screenshot, because this is a lot. This is almost, you're almost giving away the whole story now. One of the alpha species, rains of meteors, kills his kin and took the Eldrani soul stone from a dragon, from all the strongest dragons, and made one soul stone on the end of his tail, and he summons his spirit called an angel. And yes, the angel is the Titan hunter, and he leaves his planet in search of his species. How does he search for a species if it kills all his kin? You kind of stepped on yourself there a little bit, War Sniper there. Now, if this just killed his family or his clan, that'd be one thing. But yeah, if you say killed his kin from meteor strikes, that would take out an entire planet. Like Soulstone. Okay. Here we go. Doesn't D says redacted the message. Okay. No worries. Oh, PMC, private and military corporation. Okay. Like BlackRock. Mercenaries. It's work with, yeah, I'll put that down. Working with human mercs. I was thinking about do that in a BattleTech style, but you don't do aliens in BattleTech. They don't go together. Let's see. Doesn't he says, what is good lunch on a starship? Well, any food that's palatable, really. Yeah, this that's kind of an odd question to ask. A good lunch is anything that really fills your stomach and gives you nutrients to go on, and something that you enjoy eating. I mean, as far as Starship, it's not like you're going to get anything fresh unless you have your own hydroponics bay or something like that. And for that, you need all sorts of artificial gravity. You couldn't artificial gravity livestock. It's hard enough on our bodies, and we know what the hell it's doing to us. They tried that with taking some animals up into our own spaceships and kind of doing a weird maneuver to kind of simulate gravity, and all the animals died. It just, without question, they all died. Okay, War Sniper. It looks like his species or has the same energy as. Wow, you're just keep going. Out of the lore of the story, if you like, yeah. I mean, that's going to take a long time to write with the whole dragon thing, because it's that's literally making an entire society from scratch, and you're going to have to actually, I would have to go through the entire society itself. That's definitely a chapters long story. Gorg says, I spent 10 years as a contractor. I'd like to see your take on it. Which type of contractor? Are we talking about building stuff or ending things? Because I've worked with both. I've helped people build houses and stuff like that, and I've also worked with stuff overseas that was a little more, shall we say, nefarious. And the thing is, the folks I worked with overseas, we did not get along. Main reason is because they kept trying to steal our shit. It was so bad, we actually had to have a guard on the Humvees all night, or somebody just cut the lock and take all our stuff while we were asleep. And that's while we're in the fob. That was not cool. I mean, the Green Berets tried to do the same thing, but we caught them and told them to go fuck themselves. Then they're like, oh, we have a mission. I was like, what do you need? Well, we need 50 and we need 762. Here, take these boxes. The rest are ours. And they're like, oh, this is more than we need. Well, then next time ask. Let's see. Dustin D says, would you have an algae farm on a spaceship? I'm not again, you need artificial gravity for that to work, and you need a lot of room for an algae farm. That's huge. You would have to be layer after layer after layer after layer after layer. I mean, they're only going to be separated that far, and you're going to be burning a lot of power keeping those grow lights going all the time. It would make me wonder what you would need an algae farm on a spaceship for. If you're talking about just for cycling air, you're still going to have to cycle everything through there, and you're going to have a lot of it. It takes a lot to filter that air. It really does. When you're talking just algae, it does take a whole bunch. Now, would it work that way? As long as you have some sort of artificial gravity, it'll work just fine. You cannot, I'm going to say this again, it is not possible to do that in 0G. It does not work. Algae need to be on the surface. They do not function properly. Most of them, especially the ones you're talking about, do not function well inside water. They'll survive for a while, but they want to be towards the top. Okay, Lee says, the Battletech story is what brought me here, and I'm a giant robot fanboy, so robots for the win. Yeah, so long as you're not talking about Pacific Rim, because that was just bad. I mean, we give Robot Jocks a pass because that was 1980 schlock, and the CGI was just not there. But yeah, I'm a big Robotech fan. Not a huge fan, but I'm a big fan. If you really like Battletech, go on Tex Talks Battletech, and he's got some. He hasn't done it in a while, but he's got some really good ones that are hours long, going over the lore on that. Now, I was actually going to do a giant robot story, but you guys got way too much here, and I'm not going to go on that. Now, I would like to say that Battletech, Battle Mechs, do work in hard science fiction for one reason and one reason only. When you're going to invade a planet, you need to do several things. One is to cut off communication. So all the satellites that everyone's going to need to operate the guided missiles is not going to be there. You need line of sight munitions. And if you have some sort of jammer, that means you need to hold line of sight. So all these rapid dragons and stuff like that would be ineffectual. It'd be a $5 million paperweight. And once you actually land on the planet, what do you have to do? You have to overwhelm them with firepower. What are the battle mechs full of? Guns and lots of guns and missiles and rockets and lasers and all sorts of craziness. And yeah, that's why the Battletech mechs actually work, because even if you have a ship overhead, a lot of times they can't move into a position until the mechs on the ground move forward and take out the cannons that are going to take out the damn ship. Everything's integrated when you're talking about 4 dimensions on that. And yes, it is 4 dimensions because you got land, air, sea, and space. And if you want to get really technical, going through like the stratosphere and the thermosphere is its own area because it's got its own problems. Now, granted, there's not a lot of fighting at that point, but that's 4 dimensions you got to deal with. That's 4 different things that are kind of come up and bite you in the ass. And if you're not careful, guess what? You're going to miss a submarine. Your ship's going to go over. And then suddenly they're going to be like, hey, what's that coming up at us? Oh, is that a missile? Oh, I hope it misses us. Oh, kaboom. There's a nuke. Oh, hold on. Something's jumping up here. Oh, shit. Oh, sorry, guys. I had something off here. Okay, here we go. I'm back. So anyway, the Battletech does actually work. The more I thought about it, I was like, well, son of a bitch. Here we go. The thing is, if they land on here, we got too many tanks. We could just literally overrun them with numbers. Now, if you did a Battletech story where they came in right at the beginning or end of World War II, yeah, they literally walk to the people here and say, here's your ass. Especially running a locust, boing, 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 walking right over the trench lines, shooting everybody up. Okay, where was I? Michael says, with all the chats, why only 2 like myself? And I think War Sniper. I don't know. Doesn't D says, how do you feel about food replicators on spaceships? Food replicators making something quite literally out of nothing. You gotta show me how the fuck that's going to work. That is a trope that has become a thing with the Star Trek and Star Trek only. Everywhere else has used something to reconsolidate actual matter, to break it down to its molecules and then reform it. Now, I did this in actually one of my stories where you would actually have a fabricator, was what I call them, one of organic matter and one of non-organic matter, because the organic matter gives you your fucking food. You can't eat this, not without killing you. So an actual fabricator, something that breaks down the molecules of something that's edible into something you can actually consume, okay, that's fine. The actual replicators from the Trekkie Trek universe, no. No. It doesn't work. It doesn't pass the sniff test, especially with hard science fiction. And actually, that one piece of supposed technology was enough to push Star Trek into what's considered science fantasy. But it's just, you can't make food out of energy. Okay. Gorg says, Starship food. Just think Navy mess hall, surf and turf. Pretty much. You got to preserve. They spend so much energy just preserving everything. There's a lot of stuff that's canned, but there's also a lot of stuff that's frozen. And a lot of stuff that's refrigerated. Most of your fruit has to be refrigerated to keep it to last long. Because let's face it, scurvy's a bitch. Let's see. Isaac saying, can you make a story about an alien visiting decommissioned warship? Okay, decommissioned warship. Decommissioned warship, and taking a giant war shit on the ground when he realizes how screwed he'd be if he pissed everybody off, probably. Okay. Oh, everything's jumping up over here. Worst number game. I can send you the story. Send the story to you on Discord if you want. I would love if you made a story out of it at some point, because the end part where I am, I don't know how to continue it myself. Look, if you actually have this written out, War Sniper, and you want me to put it on the channel, not in this one. I didn't put the magic bullet in this one, but any of my other videos that are coming out in the past like 3 months, they all have my email address. You can send it via that way, and absolutely no problems. I'll look it over, and if you want me to continue it, I'll continue it, no problem. But I will usually not. Well, let me just say this: anything that's sent to me and it actually works for the channel. I've done this for one other person. He said, find something and read something from my works. I said, okay. I didn't take any money from them. I went through, I found one of them that worked for the channel, and I read it out. And there you go. I will do the same thing to you. And yes, you will get full marks and full credit for it. Let's see. Gorg says, security contractor, Blackwater, Olive Branch, Triple Canopy are just a few of my former employees, along with the Alphabet Farm Boys. Oh, geez. Wow, you got several bullseyes on your ass. Oh boy, yikes. Hopefully you didn't work for Kraft as well. That would really suck. Yeah, they actually yeah, Gorg, it's we didn't get along with the contractors very well over there. Not that I ever did. There also was the well, I hate to say it, but we got along with them about as well as we got along with the Rangers, and we didn't get along with the Rangers either. Now, the difference is you guys didn't go into an area and literally just break shit just to break shit, at least not that I've seen. The Rangers, they went into an area, broke shit just to broke shit, and we've been trying to play nice with these folks for the past 8 months, and now all that's just tossed out the fucking window, and now we're getting shots from that town again. Not so fun. So, yeah. I have worked with a few of them. Not really my deal. I mean, everybody's got their own, so I can't say too much. Let's see. Sir says, it's never stealing in the branches. It's strategic. Yeah, I know. Strategically transfer equipment, alternate locations. Yes. That is a very, very, very old phrase that I heard when I was a private, and I didn't hear it again until the Chubby Sparky put it on his freaking channel. And now he's got t-shirts to say that. And I guarantee somebody's going to be busted with one of those shirts on when they're shoplifting. Oh, I'm not stealing. See, this is what I'm doing. Yeah, so, besides, nobody actually steals anything in the army. One person lost his shit, and everybody else is trying to get their stuff back. Let's see. Gorg says, a food replicator uses protein from body waste the same way still suits from Dune. Now, I'm not a huge Dune fan, so I'll take your word on that. Now, I haven't looked too much into the replicators. Maybe they've changed it since the last time, but originally what I saw when it came to that is they were using antimatter as a booster, and they were running it through some sort of funky blue filter system, and that was what they were using to consolidate the molecules to make whatever they were trying to make. You know, Earl Grey, hot, you know, that sort of stuff. Now, if they've updated their lore, you know, I got nothing. Okay. I really got nothing on that, because yes, if they are using organic material and just reconsolidating it, it does function, or it does work. Okay. Rage says, possible story, a day in the life of a space battleship cook. Okay. Space battleship cook. You guys are giving me so many notes. I'm running out of room on my paper here. Let's see. Wars Number says, I will ask on Discord ask on Discord, Demon or Ava, and look around for your mail. Okay, cool. Oh, geez. Gorg, you were in the 75th? And oh, God. Jesus Christ. You've been around the block too. I've worked with both of those, 75th and Special Forces. Okay. I've also worked with guys who don't officially exist. Scary good. I don't use that lightly. I will never use that lightly. Those guys are scary fucking good. Let's see. Sir Brownie says, he's laughing out loud. I heard that as a grunt too 30 years ago. Yeah. 11 Bravos around here, also known as 11 bullet catchers. Let's see. Rage says, product relocation specialist. Looks good on a resume. Okay. There's always one guy in the unit. How did you get a hold of this? Don't ask. Or my favorite line, don't worry about it. Whenever somebody ever heard me say that, they just shut up because they did not want to be implicated in anything. Not that I was usually the guy, but I would be able to get things done. Grog says, I carried a set of stencils and spray paint in my... Oh, you're the guy who friggin' redid the truck bumpers, aren't you? Ooh. We, apparently you weren't there. Where was I? Yeah, 4ID. They found somebody was doing that, so they checked the serial numbers inside the truck. Whoever it was didn't scratch them out. And when they realized that somebody had re-spray painted the bumper numbers, they didn't have to worry about any type of UCMJ or anything like that. There was a battalion on company brawl. And yes, that company lost badly. It's one of those things that is now just considered, oh, that may or may not have happened. I can neither confirm nor deny it. But yes, I've seen that a lot where people reset the bumper numbers on their trucks. And it's just, again, if you can get away with it, okay. If you can't, you're in for some ass pain. I'll tell you that, because they're going to fuck you up. It's easy to pop off. Yeah, it is. It is easy to pop off. Hell, I can do it with this knife. Oh, no, wait. My knife's still in my pocket. This knife. Not that I've ever done that with this knife. No, never. Anyways. But anyways, I am running all the way through here. And you know what? I'm going to wait till next week to ask if a certain joke landed. Apparently, a few people on the story that came out earlier, you know, but it's basically titled "Go in and get them out." That's the story. Go in and get them out. That's their job. Those of us who've actually done a snatch and grab or a mission to go get our folks from a hot zone, yeah, that's not so fun. Yeah, that's a pucker factor of over 9,000. I don't care who the fuck you are. Anyways, next week I'm going to ask if the joke landed, because I will, but I do have to say this. The name of the alien race in that story, you guys remember what it was? Now, this is not going to spoil anything because it's like the first or second line. Do you guys remember what they were called? I'm just waiting a few seconds for it to go in. And if you understand or go into a thesaurus, you'll find out what that actually goes into. And I just thought it was funny. What do we got? Worst never get. He picks up my laptop and looks for a new story. Okay. Look for a new. Yep. Okay. Oh, Rage, you haven't seen it yet. Okay. Fabian's off to bed. Finished my brew. Up in 4 hours. Enjoy the chat tonight. Thank you, guys. Actually, Fabian, we're going to be ending tonight because we've been on for just over an hour. And you know what? I'm running out of notes. You guys gave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, over a dozen ideas here to work with. I'm going to have to filter through them. Now, I do have to say, you got this one coming in. You've got at least one more after that. And then I will work on this list. And also, I still have requests to continue. They Call Us Monsters. which is not an HFY story, but people keep requesting it, and it is on the list to do, and I hate to let folks down. So on that note, safety brief. If you drink, you don't drive. If you drive, you don't drink. If your little soldier wants to go in the bush, make sure he wears his poncho. Always keep a 20 in your sock, because no matter what, that'll get you home. Oh, no, wait. You guys use Lyft and stuff right now. That was for the taxi. Or 20 euros, wherever you guys might be. I guess it wasn't the shot off. Amen. It would be the 101st Airborne Troop. Yeah. All right. Also, make sure that you guys remember it's springtime, which means a lot of critters are going to start pumping out little ones, which means watch it on the roads. I don't know how it is over across the pond, but here over in the U.S., if you see one deer on the road, guess what? There's probably 2 more coming. So driving at night especially, be careful. You don't want to miss one and slam another. If you think safety brief, if you think I'd do it, don't. Okay. Right. Anyway, I'll see y'all next week. This is Syntech ejecting.